So I just got done eating my steak. And one of the things that the reason they do this and smash the heart-shaped steak into the mashed potatoes because it resembles feces, and the way they
All right, here's that for you, my dear. No rush. You take your time, okay?
thank you.
You're welcome.
So what this individual did is since he looks like since he looks like Richard Murphy, he simply does this because he puts a heart. And I had a black person, right? I had Raquel, which is a black person, and this is how they resemble racism and white supremacy in the LGBT community, the gay community, and they're saying kill him. So the way that I end up doing is that he ends up putting his excuse on there, and this is the way they do it. They literally smash it into the potatoes. Now, one of the other reasons that they correlate this with is the way you get infected with HIV is intersex, and that's what happened to me. So for a split moment, that's what happened. Well, since I cooked my steak medium rare, if you look very closely, it looks like blood, right? Because I cut my steak and then blood comes out. And what does this look like? What does this look like? Looks like blood. Because it is blood, like in feces. So knowing that I got infected with HIV, it's a way to physically attach the thought of the realistic situation that I'm in by doing this. So by using the HIV positive to help clean up Richard Murphy, also target Michaela. It's an all in a mixture of things that is so profoundly prejudiced and so profoundly correlated to such supremacy, because Michaela's mother is white and her dad's Mexican, same biological father I have. How do you correlate those two? Which side are you going to take? Do you take white side Michaela, or do you take Mexican side Michaela? How can you split those things up to get what you want? The same way that Ken Cooper used, oh, Sarah Cooper's Mexican. You can't say anything Mexican now, huh? Oh, no, wait, Ken is with the blacks because he's helping blacks. No, but you're white. Oh, no, but say with the whites and now the whites have, oh, wait, you're LGBT community, maybe you use that right over there. So it's a back and forth tug of war. So I wanted to say that that's how I eat. Usually when you're very polite and you serve somebody food, you give it and you separate this so they enjoy their meal. You know, the green potatoes or green beans, their steak, their corn, in separate meals so that you really enjoy it. But it's a correlation because I'm a magic time machine, and it's a correlation of taking things back to a time when I could have gone to school. Now, how tragic is it going to be? Because Michaela, if she's not in the entertainment field, have already dabbled into that, or already have a family, if she has me placed in there, it can benefit her and her children later in life, and they already notice it because they're already 10 miles ahead of her. So what happened is, there was a person right over here, I didn't want to point him out, was looking where Michaela was sitting. 100,000% I can see the eyesight of how a female says, yeah, get her fucked in, you're gonna show her what you're gonna do then now. That lady just told me right over there, and she was looking when the kids got her fucked in. Nasty words, nasty actions. So I think it's important for me to say this because women know how to do this, and this is the correlation. When you cause a huge war and vortex, every category starts to come at it. There's gossip. Just like the same way that if you go into a city where there's nothing but KKK and you walk in there, you have so many people that don't like you and have this belief. You can't go in there without somebody. The gas station's gossip gets around so much that it's so intense you can't do anything about it. But I think it was very important for me to say this because this is what they're doing. I don't have anything against. I had some guy yell at me when I was waiting, says, no se lo vas a quitar. That means, in translation to English, it says, you're not going to take it away from me. So it's going to be involvement of Michael Rossiter and Ken Cooper. And how all this happened. Because what's the frustration that everyone does when you get really upset? What's the first thing that everyone does? All family kids, all the kids, they don't talk to the person anymore. They don't talk to their brother. They don't talk to their sister. They don't talk to their mom. And I start poisoning every person in my family in the background where Sarah Cooper and Ken Cooper and Ken keep doing this. Then when I find out who gets mad and what am I going to do? Then somebody tells me, No se la vas quitar. No, you sit right there. You see how that works? Now, I'm not going to play this whole situation. That's Michaela's life. But I think it's important because that's how women get dominated, and men understand this. Now, I'm standing out there, and there's these white blonde-haired guys show up, and these white guys and these gays, and you can see the huge vibrance of them saying, no, we did this for the power of Ken Cooper. We fought for Ken Cooper and the white supremacy of the German power. So the reason that they do this is because they know that I'm watching them, and they start giving eyesight to various different types of directions, giving expressions to give illusions to, well, that's what you're supposed to think that you were supposed to believe, but that's not the truth. Because remember, they're looking like, yeah, Ken Cooper. But they don't say that because he's white and blonde. Remember, LGBT community, we work in secret. But to me, it contaminates the situation because you know what happens after? They already know. Background. Nobody's going to figure it out. But in the meantime, shit in Hector's mouth and mind. And you know, and that's what they do. And shit in the mind. I don't know if it makes any sense, but I thought it's worth for me making a discussion. Look, I'm doing the best that I can. It's just a tragic situation. You know, it was such a preparation. Too many people still got their glory. The magnitude of meeting Michael Jackson and all the tragedy of, you know, the President of the United States has a transgender daughter. You have all these people that are not being identified, and they're just teens. All of them. All of them. All of them are being identified. You know, none of them. And they just start doing things and actions. So I think it's very key and important for me to say something about this because, you know, I do hope the best for Michaela. You know, there's nothing that I can do about this. I just pray to God and stay safe. You know, it's part of life, how things happen. Because my mother, she's doing this to me, she's probably going to want to gut your ass too. So be careful. I know my mother, because if they do this to my mother, she's going to do this to you. And she's not going to care. She was not going to care from the beginning because they know how to implement the mind to then put it in you. Because any connection and any glue that you have between me and my biological father is because of Sarah and Ken Cooper. This is a suicide mission. You understand that it's the type of glue for metaphysics is how you use emotions and how you shit into something, saying, well, I made a mistake, you know, the God. That's why they built the church, so they don't go to church. But I'm going to tell you a different story. I mean, it's master of intelligence. It's how it's sort of correlated. It's like a glue that you use when somebody gets you pregnant and they get a divorce. That's a fucking glue that they used. Like somebody that killed your brother. That's a glue that they used. Because even when you're separated and everything's done, you're attached. It's the same thing what Sarah Cooper did. Teams that correlate with one another. But all I can do is I hope you really do had some, you know, you're just not gonna, I know how women are enough to know, you know, it's best to find out this head early and they set this up. But stay safe. I hope you're okay. I've had some good friends, whatever color they were, to protect you because you have some really awful people in your life that you have no idea to think that they're gonna Barack Obama's gonna tell Ken and Sarah Cooper. You're not gonna know the people that set this up in the background, and they did just like they did to me because they know that you were gonna understand that I was your brother. You're gonna know, and I don't know what your story is. You ran away from home and you left when you were 14. This is really bad. So, like I said, who knows? Maybe you didn't get along with your mother. Hope you're fine. And I can remember. I remember you had a black crucifix, and you said yes. So I wish I could do something or set up something years ago, but I was not permitted, and I was submitted. It's too late now, but there's nothing I can do. I just pray, pray and hope, and this is at a magnitude where it's not of like frustration or anger, or it's like math. Those number 1 + 1 always equals, you know, 2. 1 + 3 always equals 4. Those numbers don't change, and there's only certain math matters that you can only use to get certain equations. Yeah, just pray. Hopefully, you got lucky to have some good girlfriends that protected you. Then you can help them later.